Can you tell me a little bit about Now What and what that is about?
Now What came out of my time in the music business when I first got in the music business in Nashville. And to make a long story short, someone out educated me out of $25,000 in the music business. And out of that experience of me literally losing 25 grand because I wrote some songs and part of my publishing was siphoned away, it drove me to get in education. It drove me to understand the business because it was obvious that I didn't understand it, because one of the guys who kind of was one of my mentors, he said, Antonio, you let them. Like, what you mean? I ain't get nobody on 25. No, you not understanding what was in that contract allowed them to take that money. Like, wow. Yeah. And so that put a hunger in me to learn more about the business, because it is a business. And then also I knew that there were other people because of my community in Nashville. We were all kind of new to Nashville in the music scene. And I knew that other people would either be going through that thing, you know, in the future, and I wanted to be able to pass that on. And so a lot of people run into a lot of hard times because they don't have education and they don't have understanding. So now what is, hey, I want to record. And the next question should be, what should I do? And a lot of people don't have people in their lives to answer those questions for them. And so they go out and have a lot of experimentation and a lot of waste and a lot of heartache. And so I hope that what we're going to do with Now What is alleviate some of that from people. They're going to have to still go through their experiences. But at least, you know, they'll have some people on their side that's saying, hey, we're going to help walk you through this.
Man, that's so awesome that you took an experience that you had, maybe not the most positive one, but definitely a lesson, and you want to give that, what you've learned in that experience, you know, to artists.
Right.
So, because we hear so much in this game, this music business game, that, you know, people get taken advantage of.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't read the contracts. They don't understand the contracts. Essentially, they don't have anyone advocating for them too.
Correct.
And, you know, by your institution and Now What organization, just educating artists to ask that extra question, you know, to maybe have another pair of eyes look on something, to refer to one of your episodes, your podcasts, one of your conversations where you talk about specific issues. I think that's going to be great.
I love what you just said, though. You said to ask the extra question. See, that's fantastic. I love the way that came off, you know, rolled out, because I did this thing the other day and I talked about what to do when you have a misunderstanding with your producer. So that was I know that was long. That's a long line, but what to do when you have a misunderstanding, because a lot of artists, when you're recording, there's some things that come up in your heart you want to say, and sometimes they're intimidated, right? Or this producer may have some accolades and they're like, you know what I'm saying, you just take what I give you. You should be happy that I'm working with you, boy. And so people have this whole thing in them. And I talked about, no, you need to get it said. And you need to get it said as soon as possible, because if you spent your money and you're at the end and now you're starting to complain and now you want remedies and revisions, and now you spent your money, how do you deal with that? And so that's the thing, asking the extra question. But what if they don't know the questions to ask?
That's profound, man. They have to know how to articulate and communicate that they don't like something, or how can we improve on something. And the reality of it is, like, it's so subjective, right? Like, I've worked with people, like I do photography, videography, music, whatever. I've put my heart and soul into something, and just to give it to them and have them stomp it out and be like, that ain't it, and I don't love it, and I actually hate it. And I'm like, okay, well then, I'm, you know, like, what do you do next from there in those situations of creative differences?
And I think too, a lot of artists don't know that they're the CEO of their music, right? You're actually the CEO, not the producer, not the studio owner. You're the CEO. So you have to micromanage the process. And a lot of people, they want to sit back and just let the producer and all these people handle it. But at the end of the day, you're the CEO. And you have to know and understand. And if you don't know, understand what you just said, you have to ask the questions. What are you doing? What is that for? Yes, you're going to piss off some people. Yes, you may drive some people who are experienced in that. They've done it a million times. And to explain it to you, that's slowing them down. But if you want to get the bang for your buck and your investment, you got to ask those questions. And you got to be a pest.
Yeah.
Because education and knowledge, that is what's going to give you the edge over the next person.
Yeah. 100%, man. That's what I've learned as well. And give people grace for learning. You know, like, especially if you value the relationship and you want to build with them, you know, they may not get it right the first time or second, third, or fourth, but you know that you're gonna like keep building with them, and you know what I mean. So give people grace, you know, as you team build and figure out, you know, projects and stuff.
I like how you, man, again, I like how you say that, give them grace, because I mean, I hope no one, if you have a young child, you're not mad at your child for falling, right? They got up, they tried to walk 3 or 4 steps, they fell down. The next week they walked 15 steps and they fell down again. Oh, why would you walk 15? You did it last week. No, it's like if you love this child, what the thing is to continue to let them grow. They're going from an infant, toddler, and you're going up to the next level. A lot of times those of us who are in it and we've been in it for a while, we forget that people are babies, novices in these things, and they don't know. They came in with art in their heart. That's all they had was, man, I got this thing, you know what I'm saying? I got this art in my heart, this little baby. And like me, when I got into music, man, I had no idea. I literally paid for this studio. Man, I didn't know how to play the keyboard. I didn't know how to do nothing. I just had these songs in my head, and here I am on the keyboard. And I remember now looking back, there was an engineer, he was just in there like, and I'm just paying, you know what it was.
Just paying him.
And he didn't say anything, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I was so excited. And I wish I had a mentor, but you know what? Sometimes you don't have a mentor. Sometimes your mentor is your vision until you meet other people along the way who's going to help. But sometimes your vision is what's going to pull you to that studio and gain that experience. Like, man, this probably wasn't the wisest thing to do, but that was a lot of fun. And so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a part of the building blocks that you have. People have to give you grace, but you have to give yourself grace too.
Yeah, that's dope, brother. So this is very meta because right now we're just kind of doing a pilot first kind of episode, if you will. So this is probably like some behind the scenes stuff. Hope you guys enjoy it and like these gems. If I could just have you shout out your social media where people can find you, and then we'll close it out.
Well, the number one thing I would say, they can find me in mainly one place. I'm building my YouTube up, so just find me on YouTube at the Antonio Neal channel.
Okay, awesome. All right.